right. Hello, everybody. You are all welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so much excited to be here. And I want to say thank you to everybody. All right. It's another edition of Life Growth with Olafisoye again. I guess some of us are already online. And I guess some of us will definitely watch this later on. All right. I know some people are already asking, won't there be another edition again this month? All right. So we are here again and we are here powerfully. All right. And I really believe that you will learn a lot tonight. I tell you sincerely. How sincerely I'm telling you that you will learn so much tonight. I personally, I believe everyone, I was saying something earlier this month that every one of us, we have a brand. We are representing something, whether we like it or not. But tonight we want to talk about how to build a personal brand that stands out, how you can build a personal brand that stands out, how I can build a personal brand that stands out. And I guess for some of us, you started building. All right. So today also you will be learning how to improve on your personal brand. I am really expecting so much. All right. I believe each and every one of us, we are also expecting so much from today's edition. So wherever you are, feel free, share this video, invite somebody, tell somebody I've started. Tell somebody I am here again. All right. I believe it's a learning time. It's going to be a very good time tonight. All right. And just before I welcome my guest is already with me in the studio. I want to say a big thank you to the sponsors of today's events. That's Shokenny Solutions and Steola Innovations. So maybe after the whole session, we are going to play a short video from Shokenny Solutions. All right. Thank you once again, Shokenny Solutions. And let's say God bless you. All right. So let me welcome my guest. I call him Mr. Femi. So, but I have a video already here that is going to introduce my guest. Then I'm going to bring my guest off stage. We want to, do everything. Pa, pa, pa. All right. My producer has been saying that we take so much time. All right. So I want to see how we can work this particular session out, and you have the the best production in the shortest time. I hope that's going to be possible. You know me, I enjoy conversation. All right. I don't really want to enjoy myself, but we'll see how we can definitely work on that. So I want to once again introduce my guest, Mr. Femi. I will play the video right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great excitement that we welcome a remarkable speaker to the stage, a man whose journey and impact embody the very essence of today's topic. Oluwafemi Akinyomi, popularly known as Greaterheights or GH, is a passionate technology leader and a force for transformation in Africa. With a mission to empower over 50 million young Africans through technology, GH has built a reputation that truly stands out. He brings nearly a decade of experience in IT and cybersecurity, currently leading multiple business units in a fast-rising tech company. He's also a sought-after consultant, known for helping organizations multiply their impact through strategic use of technology. GH is the founder of Talk Tech Africa, a thriving community with over 30,000 members, and the visionary behind GH Solutions Network. He also serves as the conference manager for Tech Expo Africa, shaping the future of innovation on the continent. With academic and professional certifications in cybersecurity from Nigeria and Canada, and affiliations with global bodies like ISACA, ISC2, and CSEAN, GH's voice is one of credibility and clarity in the tech space. But beyond the tech, GH is passionate about people, and today, he's here to speak on a powerful subject: building a personal brand that stands out. Get ready to learn, be inspired, and take notes as we welcome to the stage Greaterheights.
All right. You're welcome, Mr. Femi. How are
Thank
you
you for
today,
having
sir?
me. Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. We are already in the evening here in Nigeria. I guess you're in the morning over there, sir.
It's just morning here. It's about 10 a.m. here.
All right. All right. Once again, I want to say a very big thank you
I
to
can
you,
hear
sir,
you.
for coming to and I really believe that myself, all right, and our audience would also have so many things to learn from today's presentation. So I'm going to yield the mic to you now, sir, for the next 15 minutes, and I'm going to come back for questions and answers. So for our audience, if you have any questions, please use the comments box. Put in your question. We'll definitely take your question after GH's presentation. Over to you, sir. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great excitement that we welcome a remarkable speaker to the stage, a man whose journey and impact embody the very essence of today's topic. Oluwafemi Akinyomi, popularly known as Greaterheights or GH, is a passionate technology leader and a force for transformation in Africa. With a mission to empower over 50 million young Africans through technology, GH has built a reputation that truly stands out. He brings nearly a decade of experience in IT and cybersecurity, currently leading multiple business units in a fast-rising tech company. He's also a sought-after consultant, known for helping organizations multiply their impact through strategic use of technology. GH is the founder of Talk Tech Africa, a thriving community with over 30,000 members, and the visionary behind GH Solutions Network. He also serves as the conference manager for Tech Expo Africa, shaping the future of innovation on the continent. With academic and professional certifications in cybersecurity from Nigeria and Canada, and affiliations with global bodies like ISACA, ISC2, and CSEAN, GH's voice is one of credibility and clarity in the tech space. But beyond the tech, GH is passionate about people, and today, he's here to speak on a powerful subject: building a personal brand that stands out. Get ready to learn, be inspired, and take notes as we welcome to the stage Greaterheights.
All right, so welcome back, everybody. We apologize for that technical issue. All right, our guest is back now with us. All right, so our guest is back now with us, and I will just be adding him off stage after this short break. Okay, so just stay with us. Still feel free to share this video. Let other people join. Okay, all right. All right, yeah, welcome back, sir.
Thank
So
you.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, all right.
Sorry
So
for
once
I think
again,
there was a mix. I think
yeah,
there was a mix on the software or something.
all right, that's right, sir. So once again, our guest today is Mr. Femi Greaterheights, and we are so grateful to have you on the in the studio today. Thank you so much once again. And just like I said earlier, I said I personally believe we are going to learn a lot today. And I believe also our audience, those that are watching us right now and maybe after now, would also have so much to learn about how to build a personal brand that stands out. All right, so Mr. Femi, I'm going to leave the stage right now for you. Then I'm going to come back after a few minutes for the Q&A session. So again, for all of our audience, of course, you see me in the comments box now. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comments box. We will attend to your questions immediately after Mr. Femi is done with his presentation. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, John. Nice to meet everyone in the audience. Nice to meet you. My name is Femi Greaterheights, and John has done justice to the introduction. And I'll just, go straight to why we are here. The topic is building a personal brand that stands out. That's the topic. It's a very powerful topic, as simple as it sounds. So I'm going to break the words out. I'm going to break the word personal. I'm going to break the word brand, and I'm going to break the word stand out. The reason being that you as a person, you are the input. The brand process is is what improves on that person, and standing out is the output. So we're going to pick the inputs. I'm not going to take it in one particular order, but you already get the idea. The idea is that I'm going to bring up personal, I'm going to bring up brands, and I'm going to bring up standouts. So there is a buzzword that is, by the way, the flyer had an AI picture of me. I'm going to tell you why I didn't, I allowed the organizers to go ahead with it because it's part of what I would also talk about based on what technology is doing now to enable you to stand out in the audience. And now we're in the AI era. Um, so the buzzword here is brands. A lot of people have heard of the word personal branding, they've heard of the word personal branding, they've heard of the word celebrity, but they've not understood that celebrity is not someone that is popular. Celebrity is somebody that has the ability to use their own identity to either make a change that's great value, and that value can be interpreted in various ways. Some celebrities are also they are entrepreneurs. Some celebrities uh, they are for charity, right? They become ambassadors. They give the money back to charity. They are celebrities that make you laugh, comedic celebrities, and they are celebrities that improve your spiritual life. So they're not there to ask you for money. They're there to you know give a sense of spirituality around your own person based on the religion that you belong to. So I'm not going to speak from it from the word celebrity because that word has been overused in this space. I'm not going to use the word influencer because that word has been overused. But I can tell you that personal branding is what determines what that outcome will be. That outcome is standing out. So that standing out means that it depends on how you build your brand. That eventually tells if you are going to be a celebrity or an influencer at the end of the day. So personal is authentic. It means that you should be true to yourself. You should be who you are. Although in the modern world, it's not the same. Why? Because I don't know if you've been, I'm a big TikToker because I learn new trends on TikTok. There is this new moves that they call in-bed moves. It's more like an imbecile move. Now, I would have said authentic. Now, so that word contradicts some things that people do on TikTok. But we understand that when we use the word stand out, the outcome must not follow your principles. Now, somebody comes online and they shake their bum. That is an outcome for them, even if the outcome does not align with your own principle. Now, somebody comes online and does the imbecile challenge, the imbecile dance. That does not mean that the person is an imbecile in reality. but that is the outcome that the person wants you to see, so that that outcome can generate views, and the views can generate, monetization at the end of the day. So do not judge people's outcome, because everybody is on the internet. Everybody is creating a brand for different purposes. You can say, oh, I am a Christian. There's this way I want to create my brand. I don't want to reveal my chest. I don't want to reveal, some dressing. That is based on the outcome. You stand out at the end of the day. So brand is a promise. The meaning of brand means that it is a sum total of all perception. Now, if I say that this mouse is a mouse, now there are different manufacturers, even though the shape of this mouse might slightly vary in form factor, right? But there are different manufacturers. And what the core concept of this mouse is to move the pointer on the screen to where you want it to be. Every mouse has that as a baseline function. But what is now the difference? So manufacturers will make this place a little bit of grip. Why? So that you can hold the mouse very well. Some will make it, fuller. Some will make it flatter. Some will make two buttons. Like this one has two buttons on the side to do extra function. But guess what? It is still the same baseline function. Now, brand is how you now make people feel, how you make people perceive it. Now, is this expensive? Is this cheap? It's based on the brand. Is this high value, low value? It's based on brand. So brand is both a promise and a perception. Now, what is the promise? The promise is value. That if you come and take my brand, this is what you get in return. Now, I'm not going to mention some brand names, but let's just say a soft drink, a beverage, or a soda pop, for example. It's telling you that all soda pop have sugar, right? They all have a way of making you feel, your taste buds sweetened. But what are all of them giving you? They are giving you a promise that pick me above these other ones. Why? Because I have a distinctive taste. This is how I'm going to sound. And if you pick me at the end of the day, you are sure that what I promise you is what you get. Now, you are relating this to personal brand, right? Why? Because I said your person is the raw form. The branding is the process. It's more like processing. Then the standout is the output. What you become at the end of the day. What you become, or what you want people to believe that you have become. Now, the last is stand out. So standing out is, I'll use the word differentiation. Now, you can stand out positively, you can stand out negatively, and you can be neutral. Neutral is not very easy to be. You are either positive or negative. So when you stand out, did you stand out for what you promised? That is tying it to brand. So if I tell you that Femi Greaterheights is a motivational speaker, I encourage people, I do all of this, and my core message is to motivate you, to make you be the best at the end of the day. Now, the content of what I am saying may not be religious, may not be political, but there is a promise that I'm giving you that if you keep listening to me, right, this is what you will become by listening to me. This is what will differentiate you by listening to me. Why? Because I am already differentiated by what I say. So standing out is that unique experience that people get at the end of the day. So what is the foundation of you as the raw material? TikTok can take you as far as what TikTok was designed to do. Facebook can take you as far as what Facebook has been designed to do. AI can give you what you put in. Now, the key components in building a brand that stands out, a personal brand that stands out, is who are you in the first place? Who are you in the first place? It is what you define as your value system, is what you give out when you are standing out, which is differentiation. Now, a good brand, I'm not going to tell you who you are supposed to be. I'm not going to tell you to be Femi Greaterheights. I'm not going to tell you to be Bill Gates. I'm not going to tell you to be Dangote. But I can tell you what a good brand should look like. So you are the one that would now say, okay, am I this person? Based on my current person, do I fall under the meaning of good? Now, as a personal brand, if you really want to stand out, the key word is discipline. Next word is trust. The third word is courage and confidence. The fourth word is consistency. I put consistency last because all of these first three that I said, you must do it regularly, and that is consistency. You must be a person of trust. There's a popular social media person that everybody knows that he lies, right? It comes today, he lies. It comes tomorrow, he lies. Now, there is a trust. The day you stand for the truth, people would find it difficult to believe you because they've known you as a person that lies. So even if somebody comes and wears you agbada, which is branding, paints your face, gives you nice lipstick, gives you a head tie, gives you smart glasses, it doesn't still change that you lie. So branding works on what you already are, improves on what you already are. Although there's a way you can brand people to make them look differently. So trust. If you say today it is white, make it white. And if you say that depend on me, I'm going to come through for you to stand by what you have said. Discipline means that you must have a consistent effort. Read books, connect with people, you understand, speak well. I'm still going to come to that. Now, these are the inbuilt things, right, that I said you should have. Now, some of these things shape what you should have on the outputs. That's what you express outside. Now, you must learn how to know the environment you belong to. I am this. It may not be I am this. It may not be said that way in different audience. You must know the audience you are speaking to. You must know the stage that you are on. You must be sensitive to the environment, even if you don't stand for it. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, I don't stand for these ills of the society. But you must know when to address it and when not to address it. Now, social media, some of you need a cleanup of your social media. You go on you say you're a pastor, but what is on your social media is different. Then people say that don't attach what I post to who I am. That's not possible. In the core sense of personal branding, anything you put out is a reflection of who you are and how we will perceive you. Anything you make public is open for criticism. So if you don't have a profile picture on your social media, or you have some pictures that are not appropriate, go and do a cleanup. But if you feel that your social media is one, like I said, depends on what you want at the outcome. If what you want at the outcome is people should see you, that you're wearing blings, earrings, you're drinking, you're in the club, if those things are your eventual outcome, why not continue? Nobody can, police you. You're the owner of your data, you're the owner of your smartphone. But at any given time, if that output would change, you must change your lifestyle. You must change the type of post that you put on. Sometimes some people don't even know. Like for me, if I want to engage, I'll give this example. When I was dating, and I know that that person is on social media, I go to the comment sections of where they have commented. I go to their post. If I want to know how do they think for the regular day, and people will say, "Oh, don't associate me with my post." You can't really differentiate it because the world is a digital village, and everybody is open for either scrutiny or investigation. As simple as dress code, what type of clothes do you wear? As simple as cologne. People know some people when they pass because, oh, this is how this person, this is the sense of this person. That is a signature piece. Some people have this. I don't know if you know Pastor Irene. He has this pie on his suits. That is a signature accessory. They already know you by it. Mine is GH. I have this lapel that I put on my suits that has GH. So signature accessories are also brand identifiers. Your name, especially your nicknames, are also identifiers. How would you name yourself Paul? How would you name yourself Shadow? How would you name yourself um, whatever you name it? I'm not going to say this is right or wrong. It goes back to what is the outcome that you want to achieve at the end of the day. Now, mine is Greaterheights, and I can tell you that it is foundational. I know where that name is coming from. Now, how do you improve on that your personal self? Speak well. Sometimes put on your camera, come on the camera and speak boldly. Do that repeatedly. Share the video with your friends. Did I improve today? Did I improve yesterday? Improve on your diction. Take courses and training and finish them. Don't do bite-sized courses. Read books. Go out of your cycle and meet people. Sometimes people will say, only be in the space of your value system. I always argue that sometimes be in a place where you want to ask, why did they do the things they do? Now, I'm not saying that they must be your friend, but you always, in one point in time in life, be in an environment that does not conform to your value. If all what you have been programmed is to act within the confinement of your values, how well do you act when it's not your environment? If you put a fish out of water and you put it on land, how well will that fish act? So it's not just being in your circle, learn from other circles. Be on social media, read on politics, even if politics is not your thing. Read on Donald Trump. If he's not your favorite person, read on President Tinubu, read on Brian Traore, read on Macron, read on, Kanye, right? Even if they are not your favorite person, there must be something that stands out in how they lead. Learn from it. Now, show adaptability. Know when to adapt, know when not to adapt. It goes into conformity. Adaptation sometimes is not conformity. It is knowing that you are in this season. How is this season that, how do I survive this season? Then you adapt for that season because the season is going to change and you're going to adapt to the environment. It's just like cold, winter, summer, something like that. Now, in conclusion, because I spent extra 2 minutes, there are ways to brand you. The branding is not the problem. We could change your name, we could change your looks, we could take you from Twitter and put you on LinkedIn and put all the grammar on LinkedIn. But at the end of the day, if it is not part of your person, it will not be consistent. And consistency is the bedrock of personal branding. That's why when you go on some social media celebrities and influencers that you have today, like Very Dark Man, like the video and all of that, you go and check that they've been consistently doing something, even though it is right or wrong. They've put out, it's just like saying somebody is saying something wrong, and the person is posting it every day. There is one time that people will believe that it is right. Why? Because personal branding, the act of the audience is the act of consistency. That's why you see that people will say Muslim, Christians, and all of that. If you sit under a roof where a pastor and imam or any traditionalist is telling you something, and is telling you that this mouse is white, and is telling you every day since you were born, one day you would question that this is not black or white. That is the power of consistency. So, in as much as I would say, be on TikTok, be on LinkedIn, choose a branding tool that works best for you, choose a branding approach. That is the process. The process works on the raw, which is you as a person. Then the act, which is what differentiates you. So that is what it means by building a personal brand that stands out. I've exhausted my time by 4 minutes. Beyond, I'm sorry for that. And I think that will be all for now. I'd have loved to go deep into different types of branding and how to brand yourself, how to change the perception. If people already know you online as a certain way, it is not too late to rebrand. So that is where rebranding comes in, changing the strategy. If people are seeing you as a beggar, let them see you as somebody that is that is not just coming to beg but give value. If people are seeing you as a glutton, let them change how they see you. If people are seeing you as unintelligent, you can rebrand and represent yourself and differentiate yourself from who you were before. So it's not too late to rebrand. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, sir. Sir, I would still want you to really talk about the rebranding because I guess it's something a lot of people who maybe in the days of ignorance, in the days of ignorance, they already created a kind of image for themselves that it does not perfectly represent who they are now. There is this axiom that they say that the internet does not forget. So how
Yeah.
can such an individual, rebrand and start pulling out something he or she is truly is currently?
So I'll give you an example because it's a personal example and it's not because my social media wasn't great. So I've never been an Instagram person, right? I just felt like, to keep the Instagram alive, I would post something. You know, I needed crowd. So when I didn't know so much, I'll post people's picture because I believe that they were popular so that you come on my Instagram and see those popular figures. But sometime around 2 years ago or thereabouts, I discovered that even though I'd been putting out new stuff about me, I I didn't have the power to go back to previous old posts and be, deleting one by one. There were a lot of them. So what I did simply was to close out the um, Instagram and opened a brand new one where I can now control the reality of my newfound knowledge. Now, for sometimes for rebranding, you might need to step away from what you are already doing wrongly. Now, it's not to change your Facebook. It's not to change your TikTok. It's to step away and be authentic to yourself. Now, if the type of content now, let me give an example again. There are a lot of people now that their children will see their new picture on the internet in the future. And is it that they've not changed? There was a conversation last month about, somebody that was a sex worker that now says she's a born again. Her lifestyle according to her lifestyle has changed. But does it remove the fact that she has a past? So what people would do is that when you put up your new lifestyle, make it consistent to the point that people forget that you had a past. Now, even when they go back to your past, they look at your past and they look at your present. They can't find any similarity and the noise will always die down. I assure you that no matter what you have done, if you have really changed and you have put out a new brand out, the noise will not last. It will come, it will shake your family. That new picture will shake your family, it will shake your spouse, it will shake your children. But the new lifestyle you have built would ensure that that noise, even if it is outside the gates, nobody in the house, everybody in your house will have peace. People in your office will say, this is your old pet. They will never bring it up in your office. They will never bring it up in your church because of the newness that you now carry. So rebranding is not just changing platform. It's not just going to delete your post because people have also downloaded these things, waiting to use it against you when you are successful. So make sure that when you rebrand, put out an official statement on social media and be consistent with it. If you go on social media, you will see that anytime I give a relationship talk, I add hashtag SOSEXEX. So the full meaning is still on sexist. It means sexist is male and female. So it's more like continue on the conversation about male and female. People did not interpret it well when I started making that post. They thought I was talking about sex. So one day I had to now put out a long post explaining the ideology behind that. So sometimes the reason people are getting your brand wrongly is because you are quiet about what the right brand is. And sometimes people are happy with chaos because they believe that with chaos, people come to your video, they watch it over time. It is not healthy if you have changed. Don't consider views for your personal life. Views is to entertain people who never would care about you. Your personal life is what matters. So if you want to rebrand, change those things, change how you speak, how you dress. Sometimes it might mean you taking down your social media and recreating them. You know, taking down your old pictures, putting up new pictures, put out new profile picture. Now start using consistent languages. Don't use the F word. I have tried my best since I was born never to use the F word. And the times that I have noticed that I have said it, I said sorry to the person because it's not like there's a mechanism in me that immediately corrected me without knowing. And that person said, "Why are you saying sorry?" I was like, "I don't say that word. I never would even type that word. It never registers in my head." So there are times that if you don't put in the new wine, the old wine looks fresh to people. So your rebranding approach means that change your AKA. Some of you are bearing Skilashi. Some of you are, to be honest, right? People call me Femo Sticker. People call me Femo, but it's just because, people call me Femi, I know Femi is associated with men breaking your heart and all of that. So there was a time I was growing up and I noticed that fine, I've had relationships that did not go well, but that was a relationship. I don't go about breaking people's hearts, right? So when I approach people and they say, "What is your name?" I said Oluwafemi. They said Femi. No, I said no, Oluwafemi, because I knew that they would come for me and say, "Hey, you're the one breaking people's hearts." So Femi Greaterheights is just, how people now call me. People call me GH mostly, Greaterheights. And that name came by revelation when I was still in university. So sometimes you might need to change that your AKA that they call you, that your nickname. Other times it might need you to put out good pictures where you dress properly, speak properly, put out new videos. And if you are consistent, you will change the outcome. I already defined that the outcome means differentiation. The branding is the process, is the work you need to do on yourself. The personal the source. And sometimes, even if you deceive yourself for long, you can never hide who you truly are. So go back to your source, know who you are, and work from there. Don't go from standing out backwards. Go from personal branding standouts. Yeah, don't go backwards. People are using social media to go backwards, but that's not how it works. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Wow, this is very good. This is very, very good. Thank you so much. And I think one thing that is so interesting with what you said when you started about the four things, you mentioned discipline, you mentioned courage, you mentioned trust, and you mentioned consistency. So I want to ask this question in consideration of somebody who is just starting out, right?
Okay.
Starting out maybe in the social space, and what would you consider in your journey so far? What would you consider as the most important or first building block in personal branding? Or what would you recommend to anybody just starting out to start doing right now? Maybe somebody in secondary school, maybe somebody who is a teenager. What is going to be your recommendation on this subject, sir?
Okay. The subject of personal branding is attributes. In defining your personal brand, you must say, you know, Femi Greater I said, oh, a good brand should be consistent, should have discipline, should have courage, should have confidence. You might have all of this checked out, but one might be missing. you might have anger issues. Now, your attributes that makes you what you are now. People know you that you are popular or you want to be popular. Now, of list out attributes of that person you want to be. List them out. Which one do you have now? Which one would you work on? Now, if you're already somebody, you already know yourself by virtue of God's grace upon your life, you have discovered who you are and what you want to be. Now, you now list them and say, those that have gone ahead of me, what made them stood out? Is it that they knew how to speak well? Some of you will say, oh, come from a good family. Yeah, let's say that is faulty already. Let's say in your family they do drugs, but you want to come out today and say, I don't, if they call me in this family, if they attach my surname to my name, I don't want them to see me as a drug addict. I don't want them to see me as a sex worker. I don't want them to see me as a beggar. I don't want them to see me as a mediocre. I don't want them to see me that, oh, that family has anger issues from the top to the bottom. Let them remove my name. So spell out some attributes. Most times I say this, if you don't spell it out early, you start building your life upon a soil that is building, you start building your life on a foundation that is faulty. So the first things first is define the attributes of your life. What guides you? What if somebody should say that everybody is doing this, but minus you, what would that be? Then list them out. Then look at it by virtue of good qualities, within standards. Then, if there are good qualities, start being consistently doing them. Now, some of them will not be inbuilt, some of them will be learned. So sometimes confidence is not inbuilt. Sometimes you have to go and speak in front of people. You have to, you go to a networking event and you don't want to look small, the imposter syndrome. You don't want people to say that you are not up to. Then you sit down, you see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, walking past you. You cannot stand up and say, good morning, sir. Whatever feelings you have, like I'm just talking from the context of networking. Stand up and say, hey, my name is Femi Greaterheights. This is what I do. This is what I stand for. And can I know what you do as well so we can share value? Connect. Meet people, connect their LinkedIn and say, oh, I'm going to follow up to, ask you some questions. Will that be fine by you? And as you're collecting the LinkedIn, drop a message and say, this is Femi Greaterheights. We just met at Tech Expo Africa. So that gives a basis of where you will reach that conversation in the future, or latch onto that conversation, beg your pardon, in the future. So there are things that if you are not there yet, is good. Look for those that are going in that direction and look for the qualities they have and merge it to, I'm a Christian, so I would say merge it to the kingdom lifestyle. Does it fit into what God says about your life? And if you are a Muslim, fit it into, if you're not a religion person, fit it into the stars, into, horoscope, fit it into your favorite mentor, as long as you have seen that this thing is what they are doing well and they are doing right. A lot of times, people come out and they set up Ponzi scheme. Now, the question will be, I set up Ponzi scheme, but I'm not the only wrong person here. If I put it out and people didn't do it, then I'm not justified. But when I put it out, people, started doing it, they made money and they lost money. So I am justified. Now, you as a person would know that Ponzi scheme is not what should be known, no matter the money. Betting is not what I want to do. Betting is good for some people, but for some people, they cannot stop what they've started. So don't start when you cannot stop. So all of those attributes, even when people claim that it is right, is it right for you? Betting wins money. The money is good to buy stuff. Money makes the world go round, like people say. But the method they are using to make money, is it the method you want to use? If the answer is no, you define it early. Because when you start building your house, you are building it on qualities That's those qualities you use to marry. It's those qualities you use to raise kids. It's those qualities you use to have business partners. All of those personal qualities will filter into everything your hand touches. So that is why it is good to build it early and work your way up. So don't go to Facebook yet. Don't start changing. Ask yourself, if I tell people that I'll speak the truth from today, will I be consistent? If you will not be consistent, 1,000 Facebook will not help you. You will still be that person. So those are the attributes. So attributes are fueled or attributes are sustained by consistency. It must be consistent practice every day. Yeah. So those are the things.
Thank you so much for that. I believe that's really going to be helpful. Mr. Femi, I'm thinking of something. Of course, you mentioned something related to this particular question when you were talking the other time about TikTok and the social media platforms. So I want to ask something about the about one's personal values and trend. All right.
Mm.
People want to get popular, and people want to get popular for the right reasons. For myself, I feel like I'm doing something good, and if it is good, people should know about it. But there could be this contention between following a trend that could that people say would make what you are doing popular, but by the time you weigh that what would potentially make you popular, you see that it does not commensurate with your value. I really don't know whether you can just speak on how do you balance social media trends with one's personal value.
So this is really a gray area. Why? Because social media has gone beyond um, let me put myself out. People now intentionally want to earn from it. If they are not earning from that platform, they want to be popular enough to have endorsements, to have people say, hey, come be our ambassador. Now, so people are also on social media to get investors and sponsors. So it's not like they want to generate money from TikTok, but they want that through their consistent posting of this image or this dance, I'm going to get the attention of this person. So that's why you see sometimes people make a post and they put hashtag their favorite person because that's the person they want to get it. They don't really care about a billion of you. They care about that one person they are trying to get their attention. So trends. I'll pick this example of Jarvis. Jarvis, the lady that does video content with Pella. Now, Jarvis came up and said, I want to be an Android human or a humanoid, right? And started doing this, robotic stuff. If you are not an AI, if you're not a tech person, you see a video like this is insane, right? She didn't follow. I'm not sure if there was somebody ahead of her, but if there was, I don't think it was a niche. It was not a popular niche. But she just started putting out the video every day, every day. I don't know what our outcome is. One of the things that we say about social media is that we want to criticize what people do. But the question is that you know your heart. Only you know the outcome of your actions, like the expectations. People are going to the bank. 5 people are going to the bank every day. One is going to withdraw money. One is going to put in money. One is going to cash out. One is going there to ask for inquiry. One is going there to survey so that he can rob the bank. But from the security camera, when 5 of them enter the bank, the security camera does not see it on their heads. It might use some popular actions, maybe loitering and all of that to do insights. But you cannot tell the outcome people want to achieve on their social media. As insane as people will say, oh, this person is shaking bomb bomb, showing, body parts, behaving like imbecile, saying, crazy jokes, uh, being condescending, you would think that your morality should ride on their morality. No. The question should be what they want to achieve on social media. Do you know it? If the answer is no, are you sure you're not already part of their achievements? Because you watching them constantly, if you watch them once, it's a mistake. If you watch them twice, you're already addicted. So you are already part of their outcome at the end of the day. So you can't tell between trends and what a person wants to really do. There's a guy that was selling donuts and say, buy your donut. Or there's a lady that helped him off the streets, right? That gave him money by just him, selling donuts. There's one guy that was doing pure water, selling pure water, but says how nutritious all the water is. And somebody watched the video and gave him money and took him out of that business, right? So what is the outcome? The outcome can only be known by you or sometimes by just a force of nature. There are people that became popular and they were never popular because their content were not niche content. I'll give you an example. There's this two guy that will come on social media. The guy will speak Yoruba in is a one does the pastor, one does the interpreter. Like our mouth is dry like the sand in the desert. That's one of their popular things. Now, for a season, they were very popular. Why? One of their video went viral, and from there, it went viral. But because trends have seasons, when that season is out, what makes you stay in the trend is consistency and switching. You see that what do you call it? Asha is no longer singing the style of "There is Fire on the Mountain." She's now singing Afro beats. You see that Banky W sang love, 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 and Nigerians woke up one day and said they don't want love, that they want beep, 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 beep. And they moved to, they moved to, what do you call it? They moved to another style. So people watch trends to stay in the loop. It's not that trend is something that people just wake up and say they want to start. Trend is what makes people to stay in a niche, maintain consistency within a niche. So it's a dynamic way to define why you are there intentionally and how trend caught up with you. There's that gray area cannot be defined until you say what you want to achieve at the end of the day. So yeah, there are people today that I didn't like in their first day of their social media. I'll say very dark man. I didn't like the fact that he was putting out in plenty topics, but down the line, I looked at 5 things he would say, and I say, okay, while I might not agree with one or two, it doesn't make three, four, five invalid. The same thing people will say of me today. If I come today and say, this is personal branding and this is what you should do, because it's not a quick rich scheme, there is an audience that I will never attract. Apropos doctor, as popular as drink water, which is healthy for you, somebody will say, well, is anything I want to drink today, not water. So for a season, you have your audience. That audience may not be a lot, and that's what discourages people. When they don't see that audience, they go and check the views of their video and they see 5, and they see this ungodly person. They'll be like, oh, I talked about Christ and I only have 5 views. Jesus, what's happening to my video? There is somebody that you claim that is immoral having 1 million views. Something will break in your head if you are not principled and say, let me do it the way of this person so that I can get his own results. But you have forgotten that what you wanted to stand out for was defined from the beginning, but trend made you deviate from it. So that's why I said it's a gray area. People jump on trends for different reasons. And even with all of this, people still stay. If you go on social media now, all the videos of Ibukun Awoshika, they are not her being on TikTok. They are just people going to all over speaking videos, grabbing it and bringing it to TikTok. She did not create TikTok, but somebody feel that our content would have a certain viewership, a certain people that will listen, so they will bring it. So always know that when you come on social media, either you are popular your first day, your third day, or your 5 years. Now it depends on how consistent you are, because you would think nobody is listening, but there's an audience for anything you want to say. There's an audience for anything you want to say.
Wow, thank you so much for that, sir. Yeah, there's an audience for what we want to see. Sir, you mentioned lastly about consistency, and for me, I love this quote by Denzel Washington. He said something about, he said, without commitment, you cannot start, but more importantly, without consistency, you cannot finish. Well, I really want, I know you already mentioned a lot about consistency, but you built Tech Africa, and with um, over 30,000 membership. I want to really talk about, maybe you could just use maybe Top Tech Africa as a case study here, or maybe any other thing. How how and if how or if consistency really played a role in growing that community from 1 to 30,000.
Yeah, so I'll say consistency affects three or four things. Number one is that consistency affects trust. So when I mean affects, I'm not going to say positive or negative. I'm just think of it of positive or negative. Consistency affects trust. Consistency affects audience. Consistency affects recognition, and consistency affects messaging. Now, consistency means that your actions, your presence, your messages must align over time. And we humans, because we are mortal, everything we do is measured by time. Why? Because one day we are born and one day we are gone. So consistency is a measurement of your actions, your words, your presence, and measured over time. Means that if I'm consistent today and not tomorrow, the word to use is not consistency. It means that you are still developing yourself. Consistency is development, actually, constantly developing. It means that even if you break it tomorrow, pick yourself up again and continue. Uh, do you know that when I speak, I love the radio more than TV? When Talk Tech started partly on radio. And I love the fact that I was doing it on radio. Why? Because I didn't want people to see my face. I didn't want to go out in the public and people say, hey, this guy that is on TV. I never liked TV, right? It's just of recent I'm trying to put my face in places. But do you know what? When I go to the mall or I go to events and I stand up and I start speaking, somebody in the audience will say, I've heard this voice before. Now, people started knowing me by my voice. As simple as my voice is, there's a way I sound if I'm outside of this thing. I have a radio voice. I have a normal voice. I don't know how that works, but immediately I see camera and mic like this, my brain changes my tone to fit, what I say. Even sometimes I speak wrong English on the wrong on the regular day, right? When I do it, and I come already, I start speaking, I'll be like, who's that person? So consistency is doing it every day, and if it be like I said, it affects trust. And if you are a tailor, you're a carpenter, and you say the cloth will be ready on Sunday, let it be ready on Sunday. Someone like me, I give people chances, but the day I step away from a vendor, like just know that that vendor has eroded every trust in my head. Like the day I wake up and I feel that if and I don't know how to pay 80%, 60%, right? Because I don't have the bandwidth to always remember. So I always pay vendors most of the time, 80% of the time I've ever engaged vendors, I pay in full. Why? Because I am telling you that I trust you that you can deliver. I know people tell you that they'll give you 80%. No, but I trust you that you deliver quality and in time. If you do that once, twice, or thrice, and you betray that, you are not consistent. And people like me that have that sort of attitude of loving people to come through, play their own parts, they will never approach you again. You still get clients nonetheless, but you get clients like you, obviously. Because once
Mm.
people are giving you your cloth and you tell them Sunday, because they are like you, they say they all look back. So what people will now do is that when they need the cloth on Monday, they will now lie to you they need it on Saturday so that you can
Okay.
delay them to Sunday and they can get it on Sunday and make it for their Monday. So this is a chain of trust that has been eroded. People think it's a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a cool quality. If I tell you I need it on Saturday, I need it on Saturday. And if you cannot, if you check your timeline on your calendar and say, Saturday will not be possible, it is left for me to say, okay, I'll give you till Sunday, or please, I'm going to patronize you again, but let me find somebody that can deliver in my timeline. You know, so that is trust. And funny enough, I will still come back and patronize you. You get so because of the environment we find ourselves, people have developed toxic traits, and it has become a norm. So in consistency, you must make sure that the stuff that you put out is great. Like Talk Tech started with maybe 500 people on the Facebook page. But if you notice, that Facebook page is one of the cleanest Facebook um, groups in probably Nigeria. One of the cleanest. You don't, there are contents that we do not stand for, that we make sure is part of our rules. So even if you are coming and you want to sell something, like I've had people come to us, like currently when in talks with two partners, and we had to have a meeting with everybody. This product you are selling, tell us the numbers. Tell us about this, tell us about this, tell us. Because when we put it out, we don't want people to come and say you misled us. That's why you see social media people, they talk about the products. And when that product goes south, because they collected their own cuts, they will never return back and say, hey, guys, I'm sorry. Based on the knowledge I had then, this product was credible. But down the line, they changed who they stood for. And that was not on me. I am very sorry. How many celebrities can come out and really do that? That is the trust people should have on your brands. The ability to apologize and say, hey, my image made you guys to buy probably this mouse. And you guys bought 1 million of it. I got commission. I got affiliate stuff. I made 1 million from it. And because I cannot pay everybody, because you guys have been hurt by this, I would return the money to the first 20 people just to say I'm sorry. Even if you've sold to 1 million, 1,000 people, you've benefited from it, learn to say I'm sorry. Let people believe you. So that because when you come again, people want to trust you. People want to trust that this guy has done his due diligence. That's why you see people don't, back politicians because they don't want the aftermath that comes with it. So consistency ties into the fabric of discipline of the society. But sadly, the society and the homes don't have it. And what we don't have, we can't give it out. So you see children in abroad, they have the consciousness. I'm not saying all of them, abroad is not perfect. When they drink something and it's a waste, and they can't find any trash, they put it in their bag till they get to a place where they can dispose the waste. When you go to Japan and you see people doing that, go back and check their civic education. People don't know the power of civic education. Nigeria just overrides the meaning of civic education. Civic education should teach children traffic lights, take them out, tell them that red means, in short, orange means stop. Because the time between orange and red is usually so small. So not when you get to orange, it's when you want to accelerate. And the person on the other end already believing that 2 seconds after your orange is your red and this is green. He also accelerates, and the two of you collide at the end of the day. So civic education is teaching respect. It's teaching that when you get in a bus and you see a pregnant woman, you are seated, give room for the pregnant woman to sit down, the elderly person to sit down. So civic education goes beyond just having it as a subject in school. Go back, you see some of these schools, they have it as a foundation. And that's why children will grow up to build businesses out of those good morals. I wish we could emphasize this over and over again. It is difficult to bend adults. The easiest people to bend are children. And I love what you are doing for the youth. I've been seeing all the great stuff that you do. And I was properly raised. And I'm thankful to God I have parents that try their best to ensure that there was a certain standard of life that I was measured by, and they were right standards. Not everybody has that. But if you can go back and help the youths to correct it, they would, I said, whatever you have, you start building houses on it, right? If they don't have it, they will build politics on it. They'll be bad politicians. They will build businesses on it. They'll be crooked businessmen. They will build, without empathy, they will hire people in those business and not pay them salaries. Without empathy, they will make profits and not increase salary. Without empathy, they will not know the power of compassion in the workplace. Without those qualities, somebody will swindle his own friend. You call that person your friend. Like something didn't break in you that you swindled your own friend. Like that word is friend is very powerful. Like of all people in this world, you chose to swindle your, I don't say you should swindle anybody anyway, but just imagine what can be done if we raise children well. When they become adults, they will raise their own children well. And one day, we call it the singularity effect, right? The point whereby the bad is being bad, the good is being good, and they are coming and they are coming and they meet somewhere. Maybe not perfect, it can be somewhere here, but it's better than the gap where it was before. That's why you see America. They've gone past street lights, they've gone past roads, they've moved on to different areas of life. In Africa, we are still in street lights, we are still commissioning roads. Those things are still paramount. In homes, there is no token from government. You get in homes, there is no light to sleep, there's no water flowing to your house. So the challenges of life generally has shaped people's personal branding. And it's not really their fault. That's why I said rebranding is very important. Somebody said the mind of a child is like a tabula rasa. Whatever you write on it. That's why if you use white marker, a permanent marker to write on boards or whiteboards, if you clean it, you'll see the shadow on the boards. You'll still see the shadow on the boards. So what we feed people now that they are still in their teens, they are still in their early 20s, is what they take to 40. And when you get to 40, you cemented everything in life. Everything. Whatever attributes I have, you have used 25 years or 28 years to perfect it. So imagine perfecting bad, perfecting how to talk down on people, perfecting how to not be respectful, not to show empathy. You have used 28 years of your life to now perfect that wrongdoing. There's no how you give birth to children that show empathy. They will inherit what you have perfected. So thank you for this amazing work that you do with your platform.
Yes,
I wish you to do as much as you can do for people so that they don't get to. I'm currently past 30, right? I can tell you that more than 70% of the things that I dreamt of in GSS2, I will mention, if I mention the street, somebody in Benin will know. I'll mention the streets, the day, not the day, but the time, and how I felt when I was telling God that this is what I want my big self to be. I can tell you that 70% I have achieved them by the grace of God. But if I didn't start early, imagine all the people I'm trying to raise in top tech. Imagine all the people I'm trying to raise at work. Imagine all the people I'm trying to raise in Tech Expo Africa. And the numerous things that I've done. One of my driving force has been compassion. That is why you see everybody, if I'm around somewhere, there are people around me. For any reason, people around me, they want to learn something. And I want to, me too, I want to learn from them because that's why I'm on TikTok learning how you people dance sometimes, how people do so. It's not that I would dance it too, but I want to know what's going on. Like, I want to be updated, right? So, yeah, please, like, please, I wish we have more evangelists like you that I usually say I'm tech evangelist. So I use that word. I don't know if I coined that word years back, but I call it tech evangelist. I speak to people's life through tech. If you call me for your program, I'll mention God. If you don't want me to mention God, don't invite me. I'll mention God. I'll mention my family. I'll mention my good friends. Yeah, right, because those things are part of the things that has made me consistent. I can't smoke. It's too late. It's too late to do some things. Why? Because in my circle, everybody I've had in my space that I've called my best friends never smoked. I don't know about before I met them, but since we met till dates, some friendship 15 years, some 20 years, some 25 years, some a little bit above 80 years. I cannot, if you catch some things with me, just know that it's not from that circle. Maybe something happened and I changed my circle. So consistency is also where you find yourself. Circle you find yourself also affects your consistency. Because if you are telling me that, oh, I want to be sober, I want to be sober, but there's somebody that gives you 1,001 reason not to be sober, you will never be sober, I can bet you. So consistency speaks to your network, trust, your audience, your recognition, messaging. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. That was a great one. So much, sir. I actually want to begin to tidy up now, but I need to. I know you mentioned it. I have maybe two more questions to ask, and I really need to ask this question, sir. Um, I've had opportunity to speak with quite a number of youth, and I understand that many a times, just like you made mention of, many of them really do not have this fundamental or foundational build up. All right. And it's just like maybe what the Bible said that when the foundation is destroyed, many a times the foundation is destroyed. And, but now they are not children again, they are young people. So right now, what I try to tell them is to take ownership of their decisions. You know, what's happened to you before now may not be your fault, but what is happening to you now is definitely your fault. All right. So I want to ask that what are some common mistakes people do or people are still doing right now that is, let me use maybe spoiling their personal brand, all right, that is spoiling their image, and that maybe, unfortunately, they don't know that this thing is actually destroying themselves. All right. Of course, there are some things that it is obvious. Yeah, they know themselves. Just like people used to say with smoking. All right, on the carton they write it there, smoking kills, and so there are some that is obvious, but there are some that is. So I really want you to maybe briefly talk about some common mistakes that you think every young person it should maybe just avoid?
So, so mistakes are hmm, so mistakes don't have one shape or form. Mistake, there's nobody that does not make mistakes but rise from it. But there's a word that my dad always tells us. Because my dad taught us few things, economics when we we're growing up and all of that. He said, "It's from my dad I learned something called portfolio risk. Portfolio risk in business means that every business has risk, but take the risk that you can manage. That's why I call it, it's called a portfolio, I believe. That's I'll call it envelope risk, at least a risk that you can easily carry, that you can easily lift. So you can lift up a wheelbarrow, you can lift up a bicycle, but you can't lift up a trailer. So while everybody keeps telling people that don't worry, feel free to make mistakes, lay your hands on many things, try your hands on many things. It has perspectives and it has dimensions. There are mistakes that kills people fundamental, like it cracks their psyche, it destroys their morality. I my dad would tell me that there are three things I should be careful of. He told me when I was 13, told me when I was going to university, told me when I'm in between. And my dad is consistent with his words. I will not say my dad is like my most favorite person, but my dad is still among my favorite person. Like if I rank it, right? It's not the number one, no, right? But my dad is consistent in the things he tells me. My dad is, when I was 13, he said the three things I should be aware of as a man is what I eat, money, and women. He didn't elaborate on it until I was going to the university. He now said what he meant by money is that be careful what you become when you have it and when you don't have it. What do you become when you don't have money? What do you become when you have money? When you become popular, and you're the star boy, you're the star girl, every guy wants to date you, every woman wants to date you. You get, what do you do with that power? Who do you go into a relationship with? Because at the end of the day, those things break your mind. You see, some people will tell you that one of the things that defines their marriage was their experiences of their first relationship. Some of them were defied in trying to test, and they said your age from 18 to 26 is experimental. You want to try out, you want to be in a relationship, you want to see how dating looks like, and people encourage you to explore. So that's why if you check now that the average age of people getting married in Africa before it used to be early, but now maybe because of the economic climate though, but before when I was growing up, I used to see 22 getting married, like 22 ladies, 22 guys getting married. Now it has changed. Why? Because there's so much hurt that they need to heal from. Some wants to make a certain amount of money, which is good, man and woman. While some is 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 where the economy has become, because man will not marry himself, woman will not marry herself. So who approaches you as a woman is dependent on the man. And if it's not quality enough, right, you wait. So now you see that the average age of getting married now is getting to 27 to 30 now. You check now, you see ladies clocking 30, celebrating 30. They are successful, right? They've gotten some aspect of life. You see guys now, average age 28 to 35. Why? Because economic is there, everything is there. But is also part of it. So there are mistakes that you don't recover from. So what you eat, that one will even tell right away. You're the type that don't have control over what you eat. Everything is pleasing to you. Everywhere you go, you eat something. You have to be careful, not just for your health, you have to be careful because once people know that the way to your life is cheaply is food, is that they would always make food the center of negotiation. That's why you see that some businessmen, when they get to certain conferences, they are looking for a woman. There are certain events that you've seen some pastors say that as you think they are joking. These things are not joking. You just go to an event, and one of the things they are using to entertain you is muscular men or sexy ladies. If you've never built a principle around that thing, that's the center of negotiation for you. So I can't pick one mistake and say these are mistakes that must happen to you. Some mistakes may never happen to you. The money part might be covered by your family. You might have, very good family, but the part that has affected you is parental upbringing. It's not what you can control. But if you can't control how you got here to this world, like you said, your decisions now matters. So number one is that smokers are liable to die young, but you still keep smoking. Oh, you say, you have seen people healthy. It may not be you. It might not be you. Some people might be smoking well and it never affects them because they have good immune system. The day you try it, your own immune system will fail. Your kidney, your lungs will fail. When you're drinking, your liver, your spleen will fail. All those things. So some mistakes for some people are redeemable. For you, just imagine something cut short your kidney and you're on social media begging for help. But people are also drinking. Why is their own kidney not getting damaged? But my question is that somebody will say, why wait to learn from your experience? Why not read books of people's experience and learn from it? Why is it that you must make your own to learn from it? So you can't choose the mistakes that come your way. But what you can do is that merge the actions of your life by those attributes that are listed. Is this part of the things I want to achieve? And if you don't know what an attribute is to a good life, my attributes may not be something that is attractive to you. Watch videos like this, read books. I learned how to interact with people from this book. Spirits Control Temperaments. I read it over a year, like when I was still in like under level, that had a sanguine, melancholy, phlegmatic, and choleric. I never knew who I was. When I read that book, I'm not saying the book defines every human, right? But it gave me perspective that there are people that will not think like me. So when I get into their space, I must know what works for me and what works for them and find a way of understanding our value. Communication is understanding value and we respect our perspectives. So for mistakes, what I'll tell you what my dad said if it does not apply to you. Food, women, man. So I'm not going to say women, so that it's your gender imbalance. Women, man, and also um, uh, money.
On,
What you become when you have, what you become when you don't have. Then learn how to manage risk. Some of you might be taking risks now that are business related, not career, not food related. So you're taking risks. You're saying, let me read this, let me read that. Have people you speak to. Currently, I have 3 mentors. There's nothing that goes through my mind that, if they are heavy, that I don't bring to them and say, hey, even if I know that sometimes the answer to what I'm bothering my head is in my head. They already know, so they want me to rant. After I've ranted, they will now say, you see that thing that you just said? That's the answer. But you needed somebody to rant on so that the whole ideas come to life. Somebody tackles all your perspective. Then you get the right one that works for you. So people minus mistakes, find mentors. Sometimes mentors are people that tell you there's pothole in front. I used to use that word to define mentors. I say mentor is a person that tells you there's a pothole and it tells you the IP address and the geolocation of the portal, so you don't fall into it. A mentor is also somebody that pours water in front so that you can step on the cool floor. The world is very harsh. A mentor can make that world very easy for you to. And people just see that you're climbing your career. In 1 year, you became an officer in something. Another year, you're a manager. Another year, you're a director. They are wondering, how is this business doing so well? How is this guy climbing the career so fast? They have mentors. So check in for good mentors. Check in for money, food, women, and everything. You already know, some of us know these things, but we just want to take some risk. We want to try it. We want to explore. Know to what extent the exploration can cost you. You know, and above all, listen to programs. In short, I feel you should have this recording on YouTube where people can go and watch it. And if somebody is asking for personal training, they should watch this again and again and again. You know, everything that I've used as raw material for where I've gotten to, I'm not where I want to be. They are in all what I have said. The mistakes I have made too, you find it in little things I have said as well. Because I also make mistakes, right? And you know, the good thing about this life is that I don't stay so long on when I fall. I just go back to the Holy Spirit and tell the Holy Spirit, hey, I know I did it my way. Yeah. I want to use your way. I want to use your way. So I use the Holy Spirit's way and it works. There's a lady that was going on social media, Ifunanya, and her story. She says something and I pick. And a lot of people don't know. You can tell the Holy Spirit, what cloth should I wear? As simple as that. This interview, is it right for me? Is it not right for me? You know, this guy that falling to the club, you know, you are not a club person, but he's telling you that for you to love me, you need to follow me to the club. Weigh that value and your value. If it does not match, don't compromise values. People want to say, okay, maybe we adopt mine or I will adopt his own. Value is to sharpen, and you always find common grounds in value systems. Some people don't value family. That's why when they marry you, they beat you. Some people came from homes that beating is normal, taking money from your spouse. Like my dad would take money from my mom and tell her that this money is a loan. I'll pay you back. And in our presence, I would think we have forgotten, but my dad will return that money back. Guess what? I'm married today. There is no penny I take from my wife that I pay it back. So some days she'll be like, oh, I dash you already. I'm like, wow, thank you. I carry the consciousness that if I tell her that I need money and she gives me, and if I can't return it, this is my wife for that I can do a bojo and say, on the other side. I'll tell her, see, money has dropped now, but I can't pay you your $800 now. I can pay you 500. I mean, I'll add the 300 to next one. I'll pay, and I pay it. He does the same thing for me, and we've been doing that since we're dating. So these are cultural. That's why I said you don't need to follow my blueprints. There are things I have seen that works, and I adopted it. It may not be directly for you. Yours, you might be owing money, but not be a drunkard, not be a person that does drugs, right? So some people will say, oh, but I don't steal from people. I only change figures, I only just inflate my profits. How well do we say that you won in one, but you are unfaithful in others? That's why I said everybody's if I bring out my values, Dangote bring out the values. The Lord Jesus brings his values. Some people will still go with how it has worked for them. So in personal branding, identify those attributes and measure it by something. No, someone will say what is good for me is not good for them. But I will say there's always an agreement of good somewhere. So if you measure, like me now, I measure my attributes by the fruits of the Spirit. So if you want to know how I measure I take it back to the fruit of the Spirit. The fruit of the Spirit is kindness, meekness. It does not rejoice in the downfall of others. It looks for the best in others. I measure it by this. He said, I usually forget the scripture reading, but I'll find it and send it to you. I measure it by those two scriptures, right? It has always worked for me. So re-identify what are your values. Everything rests on it. Everything rests on it. And if you are very young now, you can't make that decision. Like I said, find a coach. Not a coach that you'll be going to every minute. Some coaches don't have your time every day. But find a day and say, sir, in the whole of this month, this is what I've achieved. This is what I did this month. This is what I did first week, second week, third week. Then you summarize, you get on the call. Okay, you did this. Oh, you could improve here, you could improve there, and all of that. So, yeah, so that's what I would say has worked for me. And I try to personalize these things, and I try not to make it, general to everybody. It has worked for me, and I see the results. And I pray that it also works for you as well.
Amen. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Maybe this is a very wonderful. I personally have learned a lot, and I believe that will be watching right now. People will be watching this afternoon. We have so many to, to really work on, right? Many things, so many to really do. Mr. Femi, thank you once again. This has been a very one, and I pray God bless you for us.
Thank you,
Amen.
Coach John.
So, Mr. Femi, before we wrap up, I just want you to give your last advice to somebody starting out, somebody who wants to maybe rebrand, or to somebody maybe juggling different things together and still struggling on how to go out life and like a general advice. Us.
Okay. I'm just going to read, like I said, right? John did not tell me to be religious or non-religious. So if there's no clause in that, I usually just keep in a word from the Bible. The Bible says in Job 14, verse 9, it says, um, I'll read it from maybe 7. Yeah. He said, at least there is hope for a tree. I'm reading from the NIV version. He said, at least there is hope for a tree. If it is cut down, it will sprout again, and its new roots will not fail. Then it goes to number 8. He said, um, but here is what the scripture is talking about. It says that if the tree is cut down, there is hope for that tree. That even because the roots is still in the ground, right? If it sends water, like if it touches water, it would take on that water, take on the nutrients, and grow from that point. Now, this one is even for a tree that's been cut down, let alone you that your tree has been cut down. So this message is for those that your tree is just budding, right? Be patient. It's going to take a while because to go up, sometimes you have to go down. The saying is not always balanced, but you get the idea. The idea is that a tree's roots goes deeper, and how deep and how branched it goes determines how tall and strong it's going to be. So the deepness of the roots of an orange tree is different from a probably rice or bean or thereabouts. So what that deeper in my context means is that where you want to be, prepare for it. There is no 100% preparation. but set yourself up to succeed, not to fail. Increase the odds of you succeeding. The odds of failure will come, but increase the odds. They call it sure odds in betting. Increase the odds. The odds means that read, network, set out your value system, build out what your do and don'ts are. Then, even if there's a deviation along the line, there is a hope for you to come back. Why? Because those things were already there. Now, for those that the tree has been cut down already, means that you think that it's over for you, right? The word here is there is hope. It's not just the Bible saying it, it's that there is hope. And the hope comes from a very strong place that as long as you have breath in your lungs, there is hope for you. The greatest, like Masmo will say, the greatest strategy is not the land of the living. Go to the graveyard and see the cure of cancer that has died. Those that would have liberated us died. Those that should have made changes died. And it's not that they didn't try, some gave up. Go check it. Some gave up. So if your tree has been cut down, if things are looking like it's not working, I told my good friend Dotun one time, we were talking about some things and he was lumping different things into one conversation. And I said something. Every day has a dragon. If you don't slay tomorrow's home, you have 2 dragons next tomorrow. And in a week, you have 7 dragons. So wake up every day and slay the dragon of that day. Wake up every day and get the best of the opportunity. Apply for the jobs, reach out to a coach, read a book. Aside social media, go read politics, know where the world is going to. There's a new tax reform, read about it. There's a Petroleum Industry Act, read about it. Oh, there's a new government coming in. Who will this government support agriculture? Lean towards agriculture. That's for business owners. There's a new road opening up in the village, and you know that there is cash crops in that village. The new road opening is access to markets. Key into it. So it's not just waiting and saying things will change. Look at where the world is going to. People are using AI. Why not say, okay, I said I used AI for my picture, right? Now, I told somebody 5 years ago that the concept of headshot photography was going to change. I never even knew that. So I had a feeling technology would be in the hands of everybody. For example, before, we're all reliant on radio stations. But guess what? From Gen Z to Gen Alpha and Gen Beta, they're not going to rely on radio. Why? Because the entire power of the media is now in the hands of one person. And media is no longer centralized, it's now everywhere. So check where the trend is going to. And when I mean trend, I mean where the world is heading. What skills do you need to build to position yourself and wait for that world? Why? Because sometimes lack of success makes you look like a witch. But if you're not succeeding, a lot of things will be attributed to you. If you get into a space and something is missing, they say you're the one. Because low key, they know that every one of us here can afford it. But Femi is the one that took it because he's the one that is likely in need of it. So as that was actually a joke reliever, but the idea is success has a way of boosting your morale. If you achieve something today, let's just say one project you did it well, it gives you confidence for tomorrow. Then also, please mind the company, mind what you feed into your minds. You see people go on social media, and because they don't agree with you, they curse you in comment chats. And you wonder why you're not hired by a company. The company that you submitted your CV, they go on your Facebook, and you're somewhere abusing the president. Now, You have a point to abuse the president, but president is the one funding them. Hope you draw the link now. Draw the link. So you're insulting who is funding us. So sometimes your ideas, your your anger, your views, if it is not constructive enough, it's going to come back to haunt you. So when you put all of this branding together, you realize that every day of our life is branding. Every day. How I'm talking to John now is branding. How I chose not to wear another shirt. I was wearing a shirt before, but the shirt was a V-neck, and I felt not that John gave me dress code, but I felt the shirt was too below my neckline, and I changed the shirt to one like a button. Now you would ask that what does that matter, right? I've not even nobody even noticed it till now. I know that John did not look at it, I just said it, but to me it's branding. You know, I'm going to have a haircut today. When I told somebody, I told one of my Indian friends, she was like, "Oh, your hair is not." No, because Indians have more hair than Nigeria, so they are wondering why this thing is small compared to our own, right? So you see, perspective, right? For me, it's already too much, but to them, I have never scratched the surface of the length of their hair. So I think and I believe that while my all what I've said today may not be your exact situation, but they are precursors. I have never fed my ideas into people. I tell you that this is what I have done, and I have succeeded in it. One of my principles is that I've told God that whatever company I'm working, I will never steal money from it. I lead companies, departments, strategic stuff. Why? Because when I go on my knees one day and I'm praying that God, this is what me I have, bless it. I will not be stealing from destroying somebody's own, and I'm going to drop offering from God to do my own. You don't need to go too far. Some of the ailments and the ills in your life is attributed to how you are sowing it in people's life too. And you want people to sow good things into yours. That's why I said personal branding is ingrained in everything we do. Ingrained in everything. Somebody one day stepped on my very fine shoe. I was coming from church, and that shoe is sweet. And you know the way sweet. Sweet is a very funny shoe. And when the person stepped on me, I almost reacted. And somebody told me that whatever you say to this person, you can never take back, but this shoe can always be cleaned. Since that day, if you step on me, there is not this that shoe, I will find something to clean it. That's the worst. I will not insult you for stepping on shoe because the shoe is not what you as a person. Little of these things branding your life every day. Your every day is a branding. And let me tell you something. Your actions are a product of the things that you swallow. If you marry wrong wife, go and check if you have the capacity to make the right decision. If you don't have the capacity to make the right decision, every decision you make was based on the knowledge you have acquired. You can't go beyond the level of your knowledge. So if you made a decision that has fetched you 1 million, that is the knowledge that you have that can produce. All what you need to do is read more, make 2 million. Read more, make 3 million. You get to a point you are doing 20 million and you're able to hire an expert, a strategist that you pay 1 million, but the person comes in to build more ideas for you. You can't go past your level of thinking. What you are gathering, information you are gathering, affects every decision you make. You made the wrong business choice. Go back and check what you thought was business, what you read about business. You made the wrong partner choice in business. Go and check what you like. What should be the qualities of a business partner? I don't think you knew. That's why you made those choices. Now, somebody look good does not mean they're a good business partner. Do they have money problems? Do they have betting problems? Go and read a little about them before you make them your partners. Now, you married a person that had all the red flags. They gave you what do you call it? A chicken republic or ice cream and collected 90% of something else from you. Go and check the quality of the trust you need. What constitutes a good man? What constitutes a good woman? Then when one person comes, take them and measure them by those things that is a value for you. If there are 10 qualities and you say the first five is a no-brainer, the first five, maybe the number 6 to 10, you can still you, you feel that that is a bit of somebody doesn't dress well, you get the person is teachable. You can build on that and help the person, maybe buy clothes, encourage that person. Yes, that's fine. But if he has anger issue and you're number 1 to 5, anger is there. Don't compromise number 1 to 5. Even though 6 to 10 you can still manage. Number 1 to 5, I have such lists, and my own is usually like 7, but number 1 to 4, no brainer. And the woman I married fits number 1 to 5. There's 6 and 7. That one is between us. So, and in our own list too, there is some numbers too I did not check that we are still working on. But I met the good one, the good numbers that she puts, the majority of the ones that she puts, and she met the majority of the ones I put, and we sharpened where we are insufficient. So that's relationship wise. Money wise, save money. People will say, go and bet, it will double. Money gone cannot be taken back. To go and learn about money, learn about finance, learn about assets, liability, investments, how to grow money, read books, attend conferences, webinars, finish your online training. You start online training, you don't finish it. Go and finish it. So those are the areas I think day-to-day life. Like I said, it's not one day. Personal branding is a journey. Even Dangote will still tell you he's still branding himself because he is the face of the business. So you yourself consider your face as the face of whatever you do, the face of the decision, the face of the company, the face of everything. So it's the quality of you that determines the outputs of other things. So I think that would be my last message. Your actions cannot go beyond what you have gathered. They form the quality of what made that action. If that action was insufficient, it meant that what you knew about that action or what you knew about that decision that produced that action was in the range of the outputs. It's only rare before people go outside of the range of their reasoning. Very rare. Very rare. So thank you, John, for having me. I don't know if I didn't ask how long this was supposed to be, but I know we've been having conversations for a while now.
Thank you so much. We are good. I personally am enjoying myself. Thank you
Yeah,
so much, sir.
you're welcome.
All right, all right. Thank you, Mr. Femi. Thank you once again. Sorry. All right. So, Mr. Femi,
Yeah, thank you. Um,
sorry for that. Network on one of my devices. I needed to switch to the other.
yeah, that's fine.
All right. So, thank you so much, sir. We are very honored to have you, and I believe for as many as are watching us right now, and those that will watch this after now will really have a lot to learn. And thank you for sharing from your wealth of experience. I hope that believe that the next time we'll be inviting you, you would definitely honor our invitation. But thank you once again, Mr. Femi. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and I hope this goes out to be a blessing to some.
Bye, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good
Okay, everyone, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. Once again, I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Femi Greaterheights. I mean, wow, I am just enjoying myself. All right. If you ask me, did I finish my question? No, I still had so many questions, to ask. And I believe some of us will also have questions. So please feel free to use the comments box. Maybe you are watching this now or after now. If you have any questions, please use the comments box. We'll definitely respond to your questions. If I'm unable to answer your question, then I will reach out to Mr. Femi to help respond to those questions. I hope you are blessed. All right. Once again, my name is Olafisoye Igi, and we see you next month. All right. Next month, I think next month we should be talking about money. All right. We should be talking about money and finances. I guess so. So, but let's see what will happen next month by God's grace. So, until another time, I want you to stay blessed. God bless you all.